Hey guys, I'm so excited to be doing a little repotting session today. We're starting out with this pot that I recently got from an estate sale. You can still see it has the $2 sticker on it, and I just couldn't pass it up. I think it's so cute. And we're going to be potting this monstera siltepecana that I got for free from a free table at Ted Lair a little bit ago, actually quite a while ago. And it's been in water for an extremely long time, so it is ready to be potted up, and it is time. I'm so excited to be filming a video again. It's Memorial Day weekend, and you'll be seeing this like around shortly after that. So we're finally, you know, back in our normal timing. For so long, I've been filming something and then having to wait months and months to post it because it just takes me so long to edit it. And I've waited so long to get this plant repotted, which is exciting to finally get that done. All right, let's get this in here. Look at all those roots. There are a couple plants in here, maybe only two actually, but it should grow in pretty nicely for me, I hope. I mean, it was a free plant, so we can't really complain too much, right? Okay, so yeah, I got married. Well, I graduated from grad school in December, and then I got married earlier this spring, but now I have so much time on my hands and I'm so excited about it. I feel like I spent 2 years just being so like go, 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 go. So I'm really excited to have some time to relax. I am hoping to spend some time just chilling, reading. Hoping to spend some time reading. I've been gardening a ton, and I'll have some videos coming out about like planting my garden, which is really exciting. Yeah, life's been really, really good. Oh my gosh, this is gonna look a little funky for a little bit, but this is the finished product for the plant. So I'll go inside and grab another one. I forgot to tell you that the most exciting plant that I'll be repotting in this video is my giant Philodendron Gloriousum. I've started to have to repot this once a year because it grows out of its pot. This is such a beast to have to propagate and pot up, so I'm doing that one last, largely because it has spider mites. It pretty much always has spider mites, and so I'm just doing it last so as not to contaminate everything. But stick around for that because I can even show you how to propagate it. It's just a crazy plant to have to propagate every year and repot, and I just end up with so many of them. Plant number 2 is this green heartleaf philodendron that has also been in water for a very long time. I had it potted up and it wasn't very happy, and so I decided to just propagate it and try to start over, and we'll see how it does. But I love this pot too. It's like a little poppy pot with, I would call these poppies on it. It's just so happy. And when I have a like green plant, it's kind of nice to just have a fun pot to go with it. So I think it will look so cute in here. And the leaves on these have stayed really, really small. So I'm hoping that, the root system though, I'm hoping that getting some nutrients in here will help this plant grow and be happy. I'm also so excited to have this microphone set up now because it's so much easier to film outside. And I've tried to repot inside. It is just too messy. I don't like it. It just makes it stressful and not fun. I don't know if that's just me. I feel like so many YouTubers who do like plant YouTube repot their plants inside. So I don't know. Let me know how you guys repot your plants. Like, is it just a YouTube thing where people on YouTube, or like if you have an apartment, of course I get it. You're going to repot your plants inside if you don't have like a balcony or something, but like, I just don't get it. Like, if I can be outside repotting and like keeping the mess outside, I would much rather do that. And I don't know if that's an uncommon opinion or not. Here's what it looks like. Again, they always just look a little funky at first, but they'll grow in. But yeah, the really nice thing about having microphones is that it's much easier to film outside. Hopefully you guys can actually hear me and not hear like the mowers going and the planes coming by or whatever. We'll see, but it should be a bit higher quality than when I filmed outside in the past. Our next plant to repot is this buono. This is the top cutting of my buono, which I chopped up into a bunch of little pieces because it just kind of stopped being variegated. Like, I've got like one good variegated leaf out of it, and so I wanted to chop it up to see if that would help. And this is looking like the most promising set of leaves, so I thought I would pot it up, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. I mean, I'll let it grow a few more leaves and kind of see, but otherwise I might give it away and just try to look and buy a better variegated Jose Buono, because they can be really pretty. And this one's pretty too, but if I'm gonna have one taking up space, I'd love for it to be just stunning, you know? I'm trying to think of what to update you guys on. And obviously the big thing is the wedding, and I just have to say, like, if you're planning your wedding or you're not married, or even if you are, like, it was just so much better than I think either of us ever anticipated. It was worth all the money. Like, it was so perfect. And we had a really small wedding. It's definitely the smallest wedding we've ever been to. It was around like 56 people. And it was just so special having everyone we love there. And I don't know, like, I knew it would be a great day. I didn't know it would, like, truly be the best day of my life. And I don't know, it was just so special. It was worth everything, absolutely everything. I would do it all over again a million times over, which is also just a really good feeling, because weddings are expensive. And I don't know, it's just, I'm so thankful that it went as well as it did. It truly. So that's a really happy update, I have to say. This is the final, this is going so quickly, but here's what the Jose Buono looks like. I don't think I've repotted a plant in a hot minute, so I kind of forgot how quickly it can go sometimes. I think the next one we're gonna do is gonna involve a moss pole, so it might be a little more complicated. This is one of my favorite plants. It's a monstera, standleyana aurea, and I'm ready to finally get this thing out of terracotta. I find that the standleyana, or any monstera really, just does not like being in terracotta. They want something that's gonna hold the moisture in a bit more. I'm actually really not sure if this is a great fit, but we're gonna go for it anyway. And we're just going to use this moss pole that came from actually my Jose Buono. So there's some roots in here, but you know what? I'm gonna leave them. It's fine. And I put it in upside down. So I learned this with these moss poles, which I got on Amazon, and they're so nice because a lot of moss poles, they have holes all around, and this one holds moisture in so much better, so you don't have to water them as much because it's closed back. But anyway, you should put this part that has, like, is full of plastic at the bottom, and then leave the open part at the top. If you can see, like, this part has little holes all the way to the top. So I did it backwards, but that's okay. We can do it the right way this time. And I do think this pot is just so fun and so cute, and so I want to use it anyway. Plus, I find that with plants where they're growing up a moss pole, you have to have like a wider pot to really get it to fit. So this is kind of our best option. Yeah, this plant hasn't grown really a ton for me, so I'm really hoping that this helps. I went around my house before filming this and took notes on all of the plants that I needed to repot, and a lot less than I thought. I don't know how to feel about that. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is put these in here. Yeah, I feel like I have in the past had a lot of plants that I've needed to pot up because I'm propagating like so many of the ones that I did before, or that I need to put on a moss pole like this one. But after the plants we're repotting today, there really isn't a lot left, unless I feel like I need to be repotting plants to like freshen up the soil and add some new nutrients. And I'm just really not sure when to make that decision. Let me know what you guys do for that. Like, if it's been a couple years, should I just repot them just because it's been a couple years? If I'm fertilizing, does it really matter? I don't know. Okay, this is where I guess having a bin or something to dump the dirt out would be nice, even though I am outside and it doesn't really matter. So the root system is really not that developed. Hopefully this will give it a little bit more space for the roots to grow. And also my big problem, especially as you can imagine, planning a wedding, we went on a honeymoon, it's difficult to keep your plants watered. So my plants have been a little bit on the underwatered side, but we're turning over a new leaf now. I've watered so many plants today, and so many of them weren't desperately in need of a watering, which is a huge win. Like usually I feel like when I'm watering plants, it is like I'm watering them, and if I do not water them, like they truly might die. So to go around today and water plants and have it be like, oh, they weren't going to die if I didn't water them. Like they still needed watering, but they're not going to die. That was a great feeling. Oh my gosh, I am making a mess. I will say the perk of waiting to edit videos, if it is a fun video, was that I just recently posted a video of my like bachelorette party. So we had a small wedding. So my husband and I only had one person on each side. So I had my maid of honor and he had a best man. Maid of honor and I went to Punta Cana and we filmed a little vlog, which was so fun. And I posted it on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet. And editing that was so fun to do months later, but it made me really, really want to go on a trip again. And Brian and I just got back from our honeymoon, but I was like, I need to go on a trip with Cristina. Oh my gosh. I had such a blast editing it. Here is the finished look. I think this is gonna do fantastically. And it looks so good. Oh my gosh. Look at that cute plant. Okay, so this one might be kind of messy because I just watered this Philodendron melanochrysum yesterday. But honestly, it already looks kind of dry. I feel like terracotta just like gets all the moisture out. But I took this cutting of my Philodendron melanochrysum months ago with the idea that I could have two of them growing up this moss bowl. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to keep this one in here, which it's already latched onto the moss bowl, and just try to shove this one in here and see how that goes. Okay, so that's about how deep it will sit, which should be good. But that actually means I need to dig a hole all the way to the bottom, which might be kind of tough. So I wanted to tell you guys about some videos that are upcoming that I'm really excited about. Namely, that I'm finally going to be filming an updated plant tour. The last plant tour I filmed was 2 years ago. It was spring 2022. And this is a big reason that I, wanted to get stuff repotted and just like looking nice, along with that I need my plants to be doing well, but also so that I just want my collection to like feel really great and really nice before I end up filming. And I think this year I'm going to film a little like behind the scenes of what prepping for a plant tour looks like, because most plant YouTubers, before they film their plant tour, they're making sure their plants look as good as humanly possible. And so I just want to show you guys what that actually looks like, so you can see, like, I don't know, I don't think my plants look that great anyway, but you can kind of see, like, when you see somebody's plant tour, understand what they did to get there, so you're not comparing yourself against it and being like, oh, why don't my plants look like that? And it's like, well, did you go around and like cut every single dead leaf off and then shine all the leaves and like clean your house before you did it, stuff like that. Plus I just thought it'd be kind of fun. So let me know if that's something you would be interested in, but I think those will be coming out like early summer, which should be really nice. So keep an eye out for those videos. And here is what it looks like. I think that adding the second stalk of leaves just makes it look a little bit more full, which I really like. And I'll probably tie it up with more of this Velcro tape later, but for now, I think it's looking really good. The next plant is the infamous Dracaena Janet Craig. It is really dusty now that I'm looking at it. Oh my gosh, it was on the ground, so I think that's part of it. But oh my gosh, you guys have been loving the plant of the year video. That, I cannot believe how much everyone has been enjoying that video. Well, not everyone, but a lot of you. It has been so fun reading all of your comments, and just thank you for all of the love on that video. Oh my gosh. But it was actually, so if you haven't seen it, I filmed a video where I was going around looking for the it plant of the year, which, spoiler, it was the Dracaena Janet Craig, at least from this one article. I mean, I talked about it in the video, but anyone can write an article these days, so keep that in mind. This was just the one that I read. And then other people mentioned there are other articles talking about different plants, which is actually pretty interesting And I don't know, I guess I could go like searching for more of them, or maybe next year I'll like look into the other ones, or I don't know. The video, the reason why it happened was my mom loves to read the news and just found this article and was like, here's the plant of the year, Sloan. Like, have you seen this article? Did you know about this? And I was like, no, oh my gosh. And she suggested that I film a video about it. And I was like, that's a great idea. And so I filmed the video. It took a lot longer to post than I thought. And I was like, are people even gonna be interested in this video? Because in my head, I thought people would really only care about like the, 2024 new things like in January or something, like early on in the year. And so I was like, are people even gonna watch this? Like, is it too late to post this? And then it is one of my most viewed videos. So people have liked it, although a lot of people were like, who said that was the plant of the year? The Dracaena Janet Craig? Like, that's crazy, which it is crazy. That's kind of the point of the video, is that like, I didn't come up with this. Like, you can click on the article and read it yourself. But I do think it's a great plant. And when you think about like the plant of the year, it is going to be something that your average plant person could want and use, and like take care of well. Like, it's going to be an easy plant. I think there are some other articles out there that are more like plants of the year for crazy plant people, and they're more of like a rare, uncommon plant. But to me, it makes sense that the plant of the year would be something more common. But yeah, I haven't potted it up. It's been months, and so it's about time. And I'm so excited to finally be able to use this particular pot again. I think this looks so fun. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but I love it. Maybe on my fireplace mantle. That'd be really fun. Next, we have my variegated Hoya compacta, which I'm pretty sure I got on the day that I got the, why does it look, does it have, oh no. Yeah, it has mealybugs and possibly also spider mites, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, I think it has both. I don't know if you will even be able to see it, but trust me, both are going on. Well, okay, this one, I was just gonna say, well, I watered it yesterday. Also not a good time to repot it, but yeah, I think I'm not gonna bother repotting this. I'm gonna leave it outside. That is my trick for, in the summer, getting rid of infestations, because I live in an area where we have a lot of bugs, and so beneficial insects could potentially come and eat the infestation. Wow, that is really awful. Because the thing about mealybugs, like, I've always heard that the last plant pest you want is mealybugs, because on a Hoya compacta, because there are so many crevices, and yeah, they are up in there. Oh, mealybugs are disgusting. But what also is not ideal is that I just put this Hoya in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet yesterday. And the thing about my greenhouse cabinet, or any greenhouse cabinet generally, is just that they're packed in there like sardines. And so I just hope I didn't give mealybugs or spider mites to any of my other plants. But yeah, this is just gonna chill outside. Okay, this is a big plant, so I'm doing my best to get the angles here, but essentially it has outgrown this big long pot. And I bought this last year and repotted this in here last year. And the idea is that it will just grow along the length, and then every year or however often I need to, I will just chop and prop. And so the first thing we need to do is choose where we're going to chop. So essentially I'm choosing which leaves do I want to keep. So I like this leaf, and I think we'll keep maybe 2 or 3. Oh, this second leaf is really weird. This has it just constantly has spider mites. If I could leave this outside, I would, but I don't have a shady enough area and it would burn. You know what? I'm kind of tempted to just go for it and just keep one leaf. I think I'm gonna do it. So we are going to chop right here. And this thing is so thick. There we go. Okay, oh my gosh. Yeah. So beyond that, we just need to decide how many more plants we want. So I'm actually gonna go see what I have in terms of pots for these guys. I've got one big pot that'll work. So my two options are basically this pot as well as this extremely sad looking pot that's actually cracked. And I think we're probably just gonna have to pot up in both because this is a big plant. We'll choose our next cut based on this bigger pot, like how much we think we can fit in here. I think maybe we could fit like that much, which is good news for the smaller pot. Let's give this a chop. Okay, I think that's it. So we'll put the bottom cut in the little pot. All right, so now we get to dig in, and I actually think I'm gonna go get some gloves for this process. Okay, this is gonna be an experience. So a bunch of these are tied to little stakes, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop those off to start with. I found, as you can tell, Philodendron Gloriousum, which is this plant, tends to just grow kind of crazily. They crawl along pots, as you can see, and in the wild, they crawl along the jungle floor, and their leaves can just get really crazy. So I really like to use stakes to hold them up, and I'll probably put these stakes back in once we get them potted up at some point. I don't know if I'll do that today. We're just gonna do that for now. The cool thing about Philodendron Gloriosum, which you will see when I start pulling them out, is that propagating is really easy because as long as they touch the soil, they are already rooted. And so I could have chopped these a long time ago and let them start growing in here before I repotted them, and I thought about it, but it doesn't really matter. I just waited. And now the fun part of trying to dig them out, because these are some rooted plants. Oh my goodness. Other than the spider mites, Philodendron Gloriosums are a super easy plant. It is my favorite plant if I had to choose. I just wish they didn't constantly have spider mites. I did want to tell you guys a little bit about my honeymoon. So Brian and I went to Positano, Italy, which was my first time in Europe ever, and Brian's second time. And it was so fantastic. It was so relaxing too. I really wanted, like, after the stress of planning a wedding, I didn't want to have a trip, and even just like the vibe that for the honeymoon, like I just didn't want it to be like super stressful, like running around everywhere like some people do Europe trips. And it was perfect. We stayed in a little bed and breakfast and like woke up every day and they made us breakfast and we had the beautiful view. But we did stay up really high, and if you've never been to Positano or if you don't know anything about it, there are a ton of stairs, and so we had to walk in order to get to the beach and where the shops and the restaurants were. We had to walk down so many stairs. If we stay again, I think we would stay like a little further down, not so high up, but it was really fun. And the people of Positano were so nice. They would tell us good morning when we would walk by. And we went on this crazy hike called the Pathway of the Gods, and it was absolutely gorgeous, but you have to like go on this hike to even get there. So I think on that day we walked like 11 miles and we went up and down, like, this is rounding up slightly, I think it was like 250 or 300 flights. I'll put a picture of my Garmin so you guys believe me. It was so many stairs, and part of that was like the hike to actually get to the hike and the hike back. We stayed one night in Naples, and I remember after spending a week in Positano, you know, like very relaxing, slow week, we got to Naples and I was like, oh, the city, like this is so fun. And then after spending a day running around Naples, and like we ended up getting on the wrong train to get to Pompeii, and it was just kind of crazy. I was like, wow, I'm so glad we had a slow week, because just one day in the city I was so tired. So basically what I'm doing now is just trying to get a bunch of the soil out so I can get to the roots, because these plants are really stuck in here and I just want to be able to loosen them up so I can get them out. This is way more exciting than I initially anticipated, actually. I will say that I used to have 3 Philodendron Gloriosums, and then I gave one to my grandma, but even then, so I had 3 Philodendron Gloriosums, and only one of them, this one, would always have spider mites. The other 2 never do. The one that I gave to my grandma never has spider mites. I have a huge one still inside. That one never has spider mites either. It's just this one. So maybe after, and like the other two came from this one, so maybe after I get this cleaned up, I treat them again, maybe I'll finally be rid of them. I don't know. I will say I'm also really bad about treating this one in particular because it's just so big, and the way that I like to treat them is to take them in the shower and spray it off with water, and then after it dries a little bit, spray it down with Perfect Plantista, like the houseplant insecticide. And I'm just really bad about taking this to the shower. It's also really good to wipe down the leaves with a microfiber cloth, and I'm also not the best at doing that. So, but guys, I'm gonna have the time now. I'm gonna have the time. It also did just hit me that most people probably would have waited to repot this plant until after the plant tour, because it is like my most impressive plant, but you know, it needed to be done, okay? It just did. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can like shake this loose. Oh, this feels like I could get this one out maybe. I'm getting hungry. It is close to dinner time, and my husband Brian is making fried fish, which I'm really excited to eat. It's fish that I caught with my grandpa when we went fishing earlier this week. It was my first time fishing as an adult, and it was so fun to just be out on the water, be outside in nature, and be with my grandpa, of course. This is why I like to do this outside. Oh my gosh. You can also cut the roots, like it's not a huge deal to try to keep all of them completely intact. Trimming roots is something that bonsai enthusiasts, look at that, it's finally free. Look at all these roots. Oh my gosh. We have bonsai enthusiasts do it all the time. So we definitely can, but I don't think I will this go around. But oh my gosh. What a plant. Okay, so this one is going in the little pot. It's already like almost too big for it, but we'll just keep going. I'm going to try to get this middle piece out now, I think. Wow, that's so much easier. Look at that. That was so much easier. Perfect. Okay, and then this one is going in the medium-sized pot, which actually might be too big. Now, both of them just barely fit. And then the smallest one, the one leaf wonder, is going in this huge pot because that's just what I want. Because I want this one to be able to grow so much. So yeah, there's a lot of like loose roots in here that got ripped off in that process. Again, totally fine, but because this plant had spider mites, I don't want to keep any of the soil. If I can eradicate any of the spider mites by starting fresh with new soil, I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna go dump this out, and then we will get to potting up our first of the 3 gloriosums. Here we go. This is definitely gonna take a lot of soil. Okay, so you want it to sit, I have a lot of soil to put in here before I can really worry about this actually, but you want the stalk, I think this would be a stalk, of the plant to sit on the top of the soil, but not be covered in soil. So that's the level of soil that I'm really going for. And then it's so cool, it will just grow in as time goes on. I really hope I can get the spider mites eradicated out of these, because it would be really nice to give one, like give some of them away. But I'm not about to give people spider mite infested plants, obviously. I'm really excited to have more time to read now that I don't have as much going on, and I've been reading V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic series, and it's so good. V.E. Schwab wrote The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which was a very popular fiction book a few years ago, some amount of time ago, which I also love. But, and yeah, A Darker Shade of Magic has been similarly like fantastical, well, actually a lot more fantastical really, and well, yeah, no, I'm gonna say similarly. And it's just been so easy to dive into it and get sucked right in, which is one of my favorite things about reading, is when you get a book that just sucks you in and you can't put it down. So I think it's a 3 or 4 book series, and I'm on the second one. I'm like 80% of the way through the second one. I could easily finish it like tomorrow, but obviously I am trying to not spend just all of my time reading. I am absolutely going to need something to hold this up, because it is going to fall over otherwise. Come on, maybe a thicker one. Oof, let's try this guy. Okay, just to get this to stay. Right, top cutting completed. Now on to the other two. I'm running really low on soil also. What a plant. Just what a plant. All right, I mixed up a ton of soil right before I started filming and I really thought it was gonna be enough, but it is not enough. I really don't feel like mixing up a ton, like a whole bin more of soil, so we're just gonna do it in the pots. Okay, let's see. Hi, bud. Good boy. Let's see. Oh, I probably should have put this in here before I put so much soil in here, but that's okay. I'm gonna do this. And yeah, I'm using a terracotta pot, and I keep saying that I don't want to do terracotta, but oh guys, I do have a pot that would be better. Ugh, I'll use it for something else. I just remembered I bought a new ceramic pot like last week, literally, but I was gonna use it for something else with a moss pole anyway, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, I don't think this is gonna love the terracotta pot life, but it's what I have. Because you really need to have a wide pot for these guys. They're so hard to kill too. Like, these plants do so well being underwatered, which is quite nice for me, obviously, as that tends to be what I do, but it's just such an easy plant. Other than the repotting and like that it's constantly outgrowing its pot. That's not as great. My other big Philodendron Gloriosum is growing in a circle around the edge of the pot, which I think is really, really, really cool. Okay, in order for this to not fall over, we yet again need a stake, at least one. I think that'll work for now. And I do have some twine to tie it on with. And do I want another one? I think yes, but I'll probably call this good for now. It's not gonna fall over. I can always do more later. Oh, I just said that and then it started to seem like it was gonna fall over. Maybe I'll do another. Fun, all right. That is much more contained than it was previously. Very exciting. Last one, very last plant. I'm gonna get this twine so dirty. Why'd I do that? All right, what a big plant. We are so close. I really can't believe that after not repotting for months and months, I don't have many more plants to repot. But maybe some are root bound and I just don't know it. But most of my plants seem to be doing okay. All right, and with that, I think we are done. Well, I guess I still have to stake these up so it doesn't fall over. I need more stakes, so I will definitely have to do that at some point. Okay, so here it is complete. This is definitely the craziest one. I'll probably stake it up to make it look a little less crazy at some point, but I'm so happy that I got all of those plants repotted, especially this one, my gloriosum. It is quite the beast. So if you need me, I'm going to be doing a spider mite treatment on all three of these gloriosums and mixing up some soil. But thank you so much for watching this entire video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!